The parable of the weeds. Matthew 13:24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. 25. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. 26. But when the blade was sprung up, and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. 27. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? 28. He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servants said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? 29. But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. 30. Let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
Hi again, welcome to 2011 Studies. We're looking at the parable of the weeds in relationship to the resurrection, last day resurrection versus the rapture teaching. If you notice in those verses that were just read, it's really completely opposite because of the rapture teaching. Because this parable is opposite of any rapture teaching. Both the wheat and the tares are to grow together until the harvest. The tares are removed first, not the wheat. When is the harvest? The Bible teaches that the harvest is at the end of the world. Very similar to the disciples' questions in Matthew 24, what is the sign of thy coming and the end of the age or end of the world? The disciples actually asked Jesus to explain the parable of the weeds. This is Matthew 13.
Matthew 13:36. Then Jesus sent the multitude away, and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. 37. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. 38. The field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. 39. The enemy that sowed them is the devil, the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. 40. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. 41. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. 42. And shall cast them into a furnace of fire, there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. 43. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear.
Those who offend, and this often relates to Satan, that word, that Greek word is associated with him, and those that do iniquity. Jesus further explains how workers of iniquity will be saying, Lord, Lord. This is Matthew 7:21.
Matthew 7:21. Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? 23. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you, depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
So finally, when we search the wheat and the tares, the Old Testament mentions those who have God's word, let them declare it faithfully. They are the wheat. And this is, I think, Jeremiah, what is it? Jeremiah 23. Those who come with dreams, saying the Lord saith, when the Lord did not send them, they are the chaff. So you have the wheat and the tares and the wheat and the chaff. God is always relating either his word or his people to the wheat. There is no new thing under the sun. The prophets of Baal did the same kind of proclamation of dreams and visions. Matthew 23:28.
Jeremiah 23:28. The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat? Saith the Lord. 29. Is not my word like as a fire? Saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? 30. Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, saith the Lord, that steal my words every one from his neighbor. 31. Behold, I am against the prophets, saith the Lord, that use their tongues, and say, he saith. 32. Behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, saith the Lord, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies, and by their lightness, yet I sent them not, nor commanded them, therefore they shall not profit this people at all, saith the Lord.
Now that we are at the end of the age, what is happening? People are standing up proclaiming that Jesus visited them and said a rapture will occur on a certain date. This latest one was September the 23rd. And that certain case, in that certain case, the date was changed at least 3 times. I follow this one guy's channel, and they keep on, switching it up and changing it. And they're the ones who pretty much will come out and say, oh, you're mocking and scoffing if you come out against this. Well, the thing about that is, if anybody really understood Daniel 12, how it's divided up between 1290 days and 1335 days, blessed is he who waits and comes to the days of 1335, they will know the certain years that could qualify for the 1335 days ending. 2025 is not one of them. Like I mentioned many times, that 2026 does end from trumpets to Pentecost. Pentecost in 2026 is a qualifying year. And then it's 2027 trumpets to 2031 Pentecost in the next group of years. So, for those who are still proclaiming 2025, well, we just have to wait until this calendar adjusts or whatever they're going to, say about this. But it has nothing to do with the proclamation of God's word. The wheat, those who are proclaiming the coming of Christ with God's word, like God says, is not my word like fire. So what we have to do is just continually to study and not rely on any man's dream or vision. Now, in my discussions online, I've been trying to show how this present year of 2025 does not qualify for a resurrection, which means it wouldn't qualify for what they consider a rapture. Every time you look at this teaching of the rapture, you find holes in it. It was not originally taught by the early believers. It was not taught by Jesus. Martha knew that Lazarus would be raised on the last day. Jesus taught the last day in John 6. You can go back and read that whole chapter. 6 times it's related to the last day, resurrection / judgment. And then 1 time it's related to the Feast of Tabernacles, when Christ stood up on the last day of the feast and proclaimed, if any man thirst. So I think I think the last day is actually related to the Feast of Tabernacles, and we've covered that in other videos on this channel. So we have that time period that ends in, say for instance, the 2027 to 2031 trumpets to Pentecost. That cycle ends in 2031 on Pentecost. And when you have that 1335-day pattern, you also have a 4-month extension until the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles. So that is a possibility. That might be God's short work on the earth, where there's a 4-month period leading up to that last day of Tabernacles. So we've looked at that, but going out. What I'm trying to say is, going outside of that 1335-day pattern, you're guessing. At best, you're guessing. And especially if it's Satan comes like an angel of light. If you're looking at some man's vision or dream, you're barking up the wrong tree, because it's just not going to happen. It's deception. Deception is rampant right now. You can go through YouTube and you can find all kinds of deceptive things that people are proclaiming. So that's it. This is a short study. We're going to focus on another verse that shows how the rapture teaching, basically invented by man, is not biblical. It is an untruth, to put it lightly. And it's interesting to me that the ones who are supporting the rapture teaching, a lot of the churches are, they are also open and subject to dreams and visions. They are open to that. So, we have to faithfully declare God's word alone from Genesis to Revelation, and not some man or a woman in a foreign land who's teaching that, Jesus appeared to them, type of thing. Anyway, that's it for now. Until the next study, I'll post another one on this series of the rapture versus the resurrection of the last day. That's it. My name's Marty Catuzzo, 2011studies@gmail.com. Email if you have any questions, or put them in the comments. Like and subscribe. It helps more people hear this message. Thank you.
One would think that when showing how the year 2025 does not qualify for a resurrection or rapture, that people will pause in their error-filled date setting. That has not been the case. They continue to alter dates even though they see that 2025 does not qualify. 2025 Pentecost ends with 1,365 days and not 1,335 days as presented in Daniel 12. 2021 trumpets to 2025 Pentecost equals 1,365 days, not 1,335 days. All this means is how much value they place on God's holy word. They will place more value on one man's dream or vision. That right there is the core problem. The level of deception in these final years prior to Christ's coming, parousia, on the last day, is very high. Stay in God's word and study His word for wisdom and understanding.
We are bound for the glory land. We're bound for the glory land.